My husband came home broken after a work injury, and I swore we'd get through it together. But as he struggled to walk, to work, to be the man he used to be, I struggled to care. Now, he's filing for divorce, and for the first time, I'm wondering if I ever really loved him at all. My name's Kristen. I'm 36 years old, and I feel like I'm living in a nightmare that I can't wake up from. I've been married to Jake for 14 years now. We've got 2 kids, a 9-year-old son named Ethan, and a 7-year-old daughter named Maddie. I used to think we had a pretty solid marriage. Yeah, we had our fights like anyone else, but who doesn't, right? It wasn't perfect, but I figured that was just life. We made it work. Then everything changed in an instant. One night, Jake went to work like usual. He's a mechanic and has been at the same shop for years. He always worked hard, did his job, and came home tired, but he never complained. Honestly, I respected that about him, but I don't think I realized just how much that job was holding us together until he got hurt. It was just another Thursday when I got that call. I was at home with the kids, trying to get the house in order before dinner when the phone rang. It was the hospital. My heart dropped right to my stomach. They told me Jake had been in an accident at work. It wasn't supposed to be that bad. They said he was just a little banged up. But when I got there, I couldn't believe what I saw. Jake was sitting in a hospital bed, his face pale and looking like he hadn't slept in days. The doctor said he had injured his back pretty severely, fractured a couple of vertebrae, and he might never be able to walk without pain again. I didn't know what to feel at that moment. I was still in shock. I remember looking at Jake and thinking, how could this happen? He was always so careful, always, but here he was, broken and unable to do the things he used to do. I tried to be supportive, of course, but to be honest, it didn't take long before I started questioning things. Jake couldn't work anymore. The bills started piling up, and all of a sudden, I found myself in a position I had never expected to be in. We were living off his savings, and my small freelance income, but we couldn't keep up. It was like the whole world was crashing down around me, and I couldn't hold it together. I'll admit it, I'm not great with money, never have been. I was always a stay-at-home wife making sure the house was clean, meals were made, and the kids were taken care of. I thought that was enough, but with Jake not working, everything started to crumble. I'd spend money without thinking about it, new clothes for myself, little things for the kids. Just small things that didn't feel like a big deal in the moment, but now they're all adding up, and I can't fix it. I remember one night after the kids had gone to bed. Jake and I sat down in the living room. He was already looking exhausted from the pain meds, and I was feeling drained from all the stress. He looked at me and said, "Kristen, we're going to lose everything if you don't start taking this seriously." I felt my face flush. Of course I was taking it seriously. I had no idea how much pressure he was under. He'd always handled everything before, but now, I was supposed to carry all of it, and I wasn't doing a good job at all. But I couldn't tell him that. I didn't want to admit I had no clue what I was doing. Instead I just nodded and said, "I'm trying, Jake, I really am." But deep down I didn't think I was. I'd always had this sense of entitlement, like I deserved things, just because I was the one who took care of the home. I guess I never realized how much of it depended on him, how much he did for us, and now here I was standing in the middle of a mess that I had no idea how to clean up. It didn't take long for Jake to start pulling away. It was subtle at first. He would get frustrated over the smallest things, like me not finding the cheapest grocery store deals or forgetting to pay a bill, little things that were so much easier when we were both contributing, and when I wasn't so overwhelmed with trying to fix everything on my own. Then one day he said it. He told me that he couldn't keep going like this, that he didn't want to keep dragging me down. At first, I didn't get it. What did he mean dragging me down? He was the one hurt, not me, but the more he talked, the more I realized he was blaming me for the stress. He was blaming me for everything falling apart. Honestly, I wasn't ready to hear that. I wasn't ready to take the blame for any of it. I didn't think I was the problem. I mean, I was just trying to get through each day, but the way he looked at me, the way he talked to me, like I wasn't doing enough, it hurt. And the more he pulled away, the more I started second-guessing our whole relationship. How did we go from being a couple that laughed together over dinner to this, a couple of strangers living in the same house, but barely talking? I kept telling myself things would get better, that once Jake healed everything would go back to normal, but part of me knew that it wouldn't. Things had changed too much. I'm not even sure when the distance between us grew so wide, but now Jake's talking about divorce. I don't know what to do. Part of me thinks he's just being dramatic, he's upset, he's hurt, and everything's just getting to him, but another part of me wonders if he's right. Maybe I'm just not cut out for this. I don't know what happens next, but I'm scared. Should I keep trying, or am I just wasting time? I didn't expect it to go this far. I mean, Jake and I've been through a lot, right? Life hasn't always been easy, but we've made it through. At least that's what I thought. Now every conversation feels like it's pulling us further apart. We're both just so exhausted. I won't lie. I can feel myself slipping. It's like I want to fix things but don't even know where to begin. All I've done is try to hold everything together while Jake's been lying in bed barely able to move. But I've never been good at this. I've never been good at serious stuff. I was always the fun one, the spontaneous one. I'm impulsive. I buy things I shouldn't. I sign up for things without thinking them through. Maybe that's why we've ended up here. I'm just not someone who knows how to fix everything when things go wrong. I think Jake thought I'd be able to handle it all, but I can't. I don't know how to make our money stretch. I don't know how to pull us out of this hole, and worst part is, I'm so tired of pretending like everything's okay. I'm tired of telling people we're fine, we'll get through this, when deep down, I feel like I'm sinking. Like Jake's not just hurt physically, he's hurt in ways that even know how to fix, and maybe that's because I don't really care enough to fix it. God, that sounds horrible, doesn't it? But it's the truth. I hate admitting it, but I don't even know if I can keep going. I don't know if I'm strong enough for this. I used to think that I was, but now I'm just not sure. Jake's been distant. Even when he's in the same room as me, it's like he's already checked out, it's like he doesn't want to be here anymore, and honestly, I don't know if I'd blame him. He's been so patient. Checked and edited story. With me over the years, I've just been taking it all for granted. I didn't appreciate the things he did until it was too late. It's not like I don't have my own issues. I do, I know I do. I've always been the one to avoid the hard stuff, the money stuff, the real grown-up stuff. But now it's all crashing down, and I'm the one who's left holding the bag. I keep thinking back to the good times when we first met. Everything seemed so easy. He was my rock. He had everything together, and I admired him for that. He had a steady job, he could fix anything, and he was always the responsible one. But now I'm the one who's supposed to pick up the pieces, and I can't. I've never been good at it, and I don't know how to start now. I guess part of me is angry at him for getting hurt, angry at him for making me feel responsible for everything, angry at myself for not seeing this coming. But there's another part of me that's terrified of being alone, terrified of losing him, even though I know deep down I've already lost him. We talk about the kids a lot, Ethan and Maddie. They're the ones who hold us together when everything else falls apart. They don't understand what's happening, but I see the sadness in their eyes when they realize something's off. They're used to having two parents who love each other, but now they're stuck in the middle of all this mess, and I'm the one who's supposed to protect them from it. But how do I protect them when I can't even protect myself? Sometimes when Jake looks at me, I see the disappointment in his eyes, and I can't help but wonder if I'm the one who's failed him. He always says he doesn't blame me, but how can he not? He didn't ask for this injury, he didn't ask to lose everything, and I sure as hell didn't ask to be the one who has to fix it all. But here we are. Jake's been talking more and more about divorce. It's like he's already made up his mind. Honestly, I'm not sure I can blame him. I've been distant too. I haven't been the wife I promised I'd be. I haven't been the one who holds everything together like I should have been. But I don't want this. I don't want to lose him. I don't know how to fix this, but I can't just let it fall apart. I'm not ready to give up. I don't want to be the one who looks back and wonders where it all went wrong. I don't know if he'll ever forgive me for everything I've messed up, but I'm willing to try. I don't know what happens next. I don't even know how to make things right. But I do know one thing, I'm not ready to say goodbye. I don't think I fully realized what was happening until it was too late. But even then a part of me refused to accept it. I kept thinking that somehow we'd make it through this. That the weight of everything would lighten, and that Jake and Egg and I would come together like we used to. But that didn't happen. It was a Thursday night. Jake was sitting in the living room again like he always did, staring at the TV but not really watching it. I could see the exhaustion in his face. But this time it was different. He wasn't angry, he wasn't upset, he was just empty. That night he told me something I wasn't ready to hear. "I'm done, Kristen," he said, his voice so quiet like it wasn't even him talking. "I can't do this anymore. I can't keep pretending like everything's fine when it's not. You've stopped fighting for us, and I can't do this alone." I felt a cold wave hit my chest, my stomach dropped. All the words I thought I could say, everything I wanted to scream, beg, or explain, just stuck in my throat. I was frozen. Jake continued, his eyes dull and his voice distant. "I don't want to do this, but I can't keep carrying us when you're not even trying. I've been in pain for months, physically and mentally, and you've barely noticed. We're not the same anymore, Kristen, and I don't think we ever will be." I wanted to cry, I wanted to scream, I wanted to shake him and tell him I was sorry, that I didn't mean to mess everything up, but the truth is, I wasn't sure if I could fix it anymore. He stood up slowly. The weight of his injury made every movement seem like a struggle. I saw him wince as he stood, but he didn't even flinch when he said the words that shattered me. "I want a divorce, Kristen." Those words in that moment felt like they cut through me like glass. I couldn't breathe, I didn't know what to say, my mind was a blur. The man I'd spent over a decade with, the father of my children, was standing there telling me it was over. The tears started before I could stop them. I begged him, I really did, but he was done. He had nothing left to give, and neither did I. I could feel the distance between us, the years of tension, the missed opportunities, the mistakes, all hanging between us like a fog that neither of us knew how to clear. In the end, it wasn't the injury that broke us, it was everything that came after. The way I pulled away, the way I thought everything would magically fix itself, and the way I didn't really understand what Jake needed, until he was already gone. I wish I could say I fought for him. I wish I could say that I tried harder to make it work, but truthfully, I didn't, I couldn't, I didn't know how. Jake moved out 2 days later, taking a few things and leaving behind the life we built together. I remember standing in the doorway watching him go and thinking that this was really happening. I'd failed him. I'd failed us. The divorce was finalized a few months after that, and just like that, everything we had built, every memory, every promise, every moment of happiness, was reduced to a few pieces of paper. I didn't expect it to hurt as much as it did. I didn't expect the empty space in my chest to feel so heavy, but here I am, alone, trying to pick up the pieces of a life I'd never thought I'd lose. I don't know where I'll go from here. I don't know what comes next, but one thing's for sure. I'll never be the same, and I'll never forget how it felt to watch the man I loved walk out the door, leaving me with nothing but the wreckage of my own mistakes. Jake was right, I didn't fight for him, and now it's too late.